Let's take a look at the SkyTrak Plus. This is a home use simulator, practice device measuring ball and club, an all-round fun, well-made looking, one of the most popular home simulators on the market. Let's see how it compares to my GC Quad, if it's any good or not, and what you could do with it. Also, if you like the information in this video, hit the like button down below, and I have a discount code coming up here for the best possible price on SkyTrak Plus. SkyTrak Plus is measuring using two systems, which is quite unique to the device. It's using camera, so its new improved camera system, as well as its Doppler radar system, dual Doppler radar system they call it, allowing the SkyTrak Plus to deliver accurate ball and club data. Quite unique in its field. Usually, so GC Quad, which we're going to compare it up against, is camera based only. TrackMan, another industry standard launch monitor, is generally radar with a bit of camera. So having both of these in here is really interesting for testing, and I think quite unique for the user looking for that precise, well-priced device, which maybe this one might be the best one on the market for both of those two things. So here's a list of everything this device measures. You can see it's a good combination of club and ball. It's not pro use for club. You can see there's a few things missing from the club. You haven't got lie of the club. It's not going to see strike, which you'd have to measure manually, and you haven't got angle of attack. But there's enough data in there for someone like me who uses these machines day in, day out. I could extrapolate lots of that data from everything that's in there. So if you really want to go down the rabbit hole, you could do a bit of maths and try and work some of these things out. If you are looking just for a good spread of data, I mean, it's impressive. The list of numbers it's spitting out to you and how you choose to use them, which we'll show you as we look at the software as the review goes on, is super impressive. Everything you need is there. If you're going to use it for a pro level device, there are more expensive machines that deliver everything, but you could get there just with a little bit of maths and hard work. The data is impressive and very well displayed. The setup of SkyTrak Plus could not be simpler. You plonk it down, you point it in a direction you want to hit the ball, so a little bit of manual aiming. It beams a little red dot out to where the ball should go, so the ball's in the right place for the camera and obviously the radar as it goes off into the screen to see and measure. And it's just literally plonk, turn on and play. I had it connected to my iPad. You could also connect it to a PC. And when it comes to wanting to project this onto a screen, very easy to do. Situations you might choose to use it. For me, it's predominantly a controlled environment launch monitor, meaning indoors, perfect. You sit it down, you won't touch it. It's just set up ready to go for you for the every day. Taking it to the range, it's a little bit bigger. You can absolutely do it. People aren't going to kick it or knock it because it's not behind you. It sits opposite the ball, so you're contained in your bay. Taking it onto a grass range as well, absolutely you could do it and use it this way. Remember, there's no display on the unit. You do need the app, so you will be having to take your device with you and looking at that because that's how the data is being presented to you. Taking it out on the golf course and playing with it as a companion to see how you go out on the golf course, yes, you can do it. You need to obviously reference your app. It is easy to just plonk down. You can see the light in daylight and inside, which was impressive. Would I use it that way? No, I'm going to use this as a home simulator, a garden simulator, something I take to the range for good info when I practice, but predominantly it's hinting more towards home simulator use. You can use it on the course. I don't think you will. So this is a department that SkyTrak Plus excels on. The software for this price point is as good as my pro use device. In some aspects, it's better. Like, you are getting some of the best presented data that I've seen. Features that I love. The software comes with a practice range, and we'll talk about the different pricing of the software if you want to go up to gaming in bits as we go into the price of the review. So practicing on the range, and you can keep your shot history. You can toggle it to the club you want. It's going to deliver all those matrix and measurements that we talked about earlier in a really usable and digestible fashion, like as good as pro use. We have the shot optimizer. What this does is it allows you to hit a shot and it shows you where your optimization should come from. Launch, spin, speeds, distance, carries. Like, this is fantastic. I haven't got this on GC Quad, so you can really see which clubs are in the perfect zone and you're getting the most out of them and which ones you're really bleeding distance and accuracy on. I was super impressed with the optimizer. It had a practice randomizer where you set a minimum maximum distance. It's a random practice kind of use tool which allow you to try to keep that practice as realistic as possible. You have a bag mapping feature, intuitive to use, get dialed in distances for your clubs, so when you take them to the course, you know exactly what each club is capable of. It's got a player's skills assessment. You can create 10 targets, then you're really practicing with purpose towards these targets, and it's measuring your skill level from different distances, again, allowing you to see weaknesses and strengths, which is only going to benefit you when you get on the real course. The wedge matrix was fantastic, so you can dial in those wedge shots, really learn your wedge distances with 3/4, full shots at different distances. The software out of the box allows you not to game, and we'll come to the prices if you want to add gaming to it, but it allowed you to really practice with proper professional-like devices to give you absolute purpose when you practice, real focus, with the idea of taking this practice to the course and this machine actually benefiting the time that you give to it, hitting shots in front of it, where you actually see that play out on the golf course, which, as I say, the software was so impressive. Now, it also links with software like E6 and other software which allows you to play courses, go out and actually feel like you're playing a real round. I've used E6 many times with other launch monitors. It's a really good gaming software where you can play with friends, you can play multiplayer, single player, different courses. The graphics are pretty good. Are they as good as some of the top end launch monitors now? Well, they've moved on, so I would say not quite, but they're very, very close and way good enough for home use to give you a feel of how you're hitting fairways or not hitting fairways, hitting it in the trees, hitting it in the water, hitting greens or not hitting greens, allowing you again to feel that you're playing golf, which is not only fun but really useful for you measuring the static practice that you do on the range, again out on a simulated golf course. It's really hard to find any cons with this device. It's well made. The unit looks great. It could sit in a home use and not look ugly like a golf piece of equipment. It looks sleek. The outdoor use possibly, like putting it down on wet grass or taking it on a golf course, having some screens on these devices so you don't always have to activate an app, I think would be so beneficial, and I'm sure it will come down the line. But when it comes to the cons, it was easy to set up. So easy to use once set up. The software is great. Like, I can see why this is one of the best in its price range on the market at the moment, because I'm struggling to find huge cons. It could be better if I wanted to take it on the golf course, but I mean, who's buying these units and wants to do that much? There's hardly any cons. So we're in the Goldilocks price zone, and what I mean by that, this is not a cheap unit. It's for home use. You would argue it's near the top end for home use, but it's nowhere near the top end of professional use. So it's that kind of, if you're in that £500 launch monitor price point, would you benefit more by getting this if you could afford it? Yeah, absolutely. Like, this is the sweet spot around that $3,000 and equivalent pounds, and prices move. And remember, use my discount code for the best available price at the time. So it's that not crazy expensive, obtainable price for some, if you save or however, that's up for you to decide what's obtainable. But it's not at that base entry, which is going to deliver much more basic info. This is giving very good info, which we're going to test the accuracy in a second, as well as delivering it in a really professional way. Now, when it comes to the software, you've got some decisions to make, but they're really cheap. So you have the play and improve plan, the game improvement plan, and then the basic no plan just out of the box. And you can see what's coming up here, what you get for each one. So if you're into gaming, you are going to have to get one of the game improvement plans or the play and improve plan. If you want all the game improvement and challenges that this device offers as well, you are going to need a yearly subscription. But coming in at around $249 and $129 per year, if you're using the device, it's not a crazy upgrade compared to maybe other software upgrades. So the price, I think it's the Goldilocks zone, meaning it's the best for what you get for this price, but I understand it's not going to be for everyone, sitting at around $3,500, $3,000, subject to price at the time of buying. The accuracy, where I couldn't test it side by side with my quad because of the way it captures. Obviously, I'm very aware as someone who's used these machines for years, how accurate the device might be on its numbers it's delivering. I can hit a shot and pretty much call my numbers on GC Quad. The accuracy was so impressive. It doesn't drop shots. It doesn't try to present numbers it doesn't really get. Some of the launch monitors, even in this price and certainly the lower price, try to deliver numbers that you think you're just a complete guess, and they fluctuate. It doesn't do that, which is super impressive. And that is the same as often the top launch monitors do the same. If they don't get a number or they couldn't work a number out on a certain shot, they just drop that number generally. The accuracy was enough that I feel I could put this down in a retail shop if I owned one, and I could fit with it. I could put it down in a coaching environment and I absolutely could teach with it, and I would trust what's coming out of the device. I was beyond impressed with the accuracy. And again, for the price, it's delivering enough information, but not too much that it trips itself up, which was really impressive. So when it comes to the accuracy, great. Easiness of setup, totally. I mean, who would benefit from this device? Well, I think you all know all of you would benefit, because there aren't many people watching this who wouldn't want this. It's just if it's in your price range and if you've got room to put it in. I think it's for anyone who wants to really commit to some dedicated practice. People who want a fun room in their house to game, to play when the weather's not great and they still want to keep their golf playing up and they're not into practice. It's people who want to challenge themselves to learn skills around striking the ball better, hitting the ball better, delivering the club better. It's a serious practice unit, a fun home use gaming unit, and an all-round impressive unit that I would absolutely use. This, out of all the ones I've done, I think this one blew me away the most. What do you think? Is it one you would use or not? If you want to find out how this product compares to maybe FlightScope Plus, video here showing you how that product performs. Thanks for watching. I was impressed with that.